Hello everybody, and welcome once again to my video blog. First I'd like to say that I'm sorry that I didn't make a video blog in the last about 6 weeks now. I've been extremely busy with all the stuff happening at school and in my life. So yeah, there's been a lot of things going on. I've been very busy. Right now I'm currently finishing my second semester of my PhD program. The good news is that things are going well. So far I've been getting good grades. I believe I told you I was about to take my PhD exam, part 2 of the PhD exam, which is a specialized written exam where you have basically, the goal is to prove that you know your PhD thesis area. And I was kind of afraid of failing it. Not so much because of the difficulty of the exam, but because there was so much material to cover that I was afraid that there would be questions in the exam that I just didn't see coming. And, because the consequences of failing the exam would have been very unfortunate, because you only get 2 chances to take it. And if you fail it twice, you're kicked out of the program. So in my mind, I was thinking, if I fail it once, then I only have 1 chance left, and then I'm going to be stressed for like several more months, about taking the exam again. So I really wanted to pass it, but fortunately I passed it and I got an A+. So apparently everybody was right. There was no reason for me to worry so much. I pretty much predicted the questions of the exam, almost exactly. There's like 1 question I didn't see really coming, but apparently I did pretty well anyways. So I'm glad that's behind me, because now the part 1 and part 2 of the exam are behind me. All that's left is part 3, which is basically you have to write a description of all the related work in your PhD thesis area into like a 40-page document with citations. And then you have to take an oral exam. Basically, you give an oral presentation about your PhD thesis topic, and people can ask you questions. But I'm not so afraid of that, because I tend to do very well at oral presentations, and I have a while to prepare, and preparing the document is going to be a nice preparation step for giving the presentation and so on. And I'm also very convinced that my PhD thesis topic, which I won't get into today, but I might tell you about it some other point. Well, I'm pretty convinced that it's very interesting, very worthwhile research, and I think I'll be able to to sell this thesis project to people fairly well. I think I have good arguments as to why it's worth researching, basically. So that's what's been going on PhD-wise. I'm also in the process of taking a class, which is about compiler design, and I'm doing pretty well in this class. You only have to take 2 classes for the PhD program at this university. So when I'm done with this, I won't have to take any more classes. So this is kind of good news for you guys, because it means I probably won't be so extremely busy in the future. I mean, in the remainder of my PhD, I will have to prepare for this oral presentation, but this is something I've basically already started doing. I've already started looking into related work and all that, and I'll just be able to do research at my own pace, basically, and hopefully it'll be less stressful. And also I've told you that I've gotten some good news. Basically, my PhD funding money has been boosted by 50%. So it turns out that I was among the top applicants who applied to get, well, I guess I can tell you this. I applied for PGSD, and they select the top few percent of the applicants, and they give them a CGSD, which is like the top Canadian graduate scholarship, which is more prestigious and all that. And when I applied originally, I didn't get it, but they emailed me like 2 months ago to tell me basically that they'd gotten a funding increase at the government level, and because of that they've granted me this, because I was among the top applicants. So this is really nice, because well, first of all, it's going to go very nicely on my CV, and second of all, it's a lot more money, yeah, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, apart from that, yeah, I've also told you that I was going to a conference in Cyprus, and Erinn came along with me. We tried to make this trip more worthwhile, and also, basically enjoy the area, because Cyprus is, for those who don't know, Cyprus is an island in the Mediterranean Sea, and it's very nice, very sunny, beautiful beaches. So we went there and we visited the area a little bit. We got to visit some historical ancient Greek ruins, and we walked around quite a bit, and we tried to enjoy the local culture. The annoying thing, unfortunately, is that the area the conference was in is extremely tourist oriented. So, experiencing the local culture is a little bit difficult, I still think we did a fairly good job, considering, but since we didn't have a car, we couldn't really go all around the country and try to find, more authentic restaurants and all that. We mostly ended up in tourist-oriented restaurants. Although we did go to a place, a fish restaurant that had fish midday, which is basically, they give you very small portions of, they say 30 different dishes, most of which involve seafood of some kind. It was very interesting. There were tiny little fried crabs that you can just eat and chew the whole thing. And I don't know, maybe it sounds scary to some of you, but it was actually pretty tasty. And yeah, it was fun. We also went to the beach. Unfortunately, the water was very cold at this time of the year. Basically, the temperature around there right now is about 20 degrees Celsius in the sun, which is, is nice because it's not too hot, even though it's very sunny. But the water is not yet warm enough for swimming, which kind of sucks, because I would have loved to swim in the sea. But still, we got to dip our feet in the sea a little bit and walk on the beach and all that. And of course, I also went to the conference. I think I did fairly well. I gave my presentation. There were a few people who seemed interested in my project, and I also met someone who basically worked on a project that was extremely closely related to mine, and that was interesting. Got to discuss with him and learn a few things that I didn't think of, because our ideas were very, very close, but his project was actually related to what I'm going to be working on for my PhD thesis. And there's a thing that I basically hadn't figured out in my paper that he had figured out. So I, learned a few things, got some more ideas for my PhD thesis project. My supervisor told me, that conferences are actually more about socializing and networking than actually listening to talks. I'm not sure how well I did at socializing. I think I'll try to do better next time. But I think it was a good start, and people were friendly. An interesting thing, I guess, is that I met someone who I had known during my undergrad who did not know I was trans. And, my supervisor had told him I was trans, I guess because he knew that this guy would be very surprised to see me, But I guess he didn't quite realize, because I arrive at the hotel there and I meet up with my supervisor and this other student, and everything's fine and all that. But when I went to give my presentation, I got off my chair when it was time for me to present, and I took off my coat, and I was wearing, a pretty feminine top. And I can see him in the back, when I take off my coat and he sees how I'm dressed, he goes like, "Whoa!" And I thought that was pretty funny. But fortunately, I was able to not stress and give my presentation, very thoroughly, and it went extremely well. So that was pretty cool, pretty nice experience. And this guy was very friendly, people in computer science, it seems like they are very educated people, and they don't give a shit, like if you're good at what you're doing and you're a nice person, they're generally fairly accepting of things like being trans. Of course, I can't speak for everybody, but it's academics generally are very open-minded people. apart from that, well, obviously I'm back in Montreal, no longer in Cyprus. Yeah, I'm basically trying to plan the summer. I told my girlfriend I'd like to go out more this summer. Erinn and I, we realized, that we're not integrated in the local LGBT community very much, and we'd like maybe to go out more to gay Montreal, to make some local LGBT friends, because that would be nice. It would be nice to have people we can relate to on those aspects, and to make more friends, because to be honest, Erinn and I, but especially myself, I don't have that many friends. I guess I'm not very good at it. I'm kind of a nerd, as you might have guessed. And I want to work on that. I want to work on making more friends and all that. I've also been thinking recently about getting a breast augmentation. A lot of people tell me that I'm extremely passable and everything, and I am, and it feels great to be so passable now and to be full-time. But breast development has been one of the areas that I've been the most unlucky with. I barely have any breast development, and I wear a padded bra, and people never comment about my breast development. I think it looks fine, but it means basically that I can't wear any tops that really show cleavage, because then people would see that I have no cleavage to speak of, or almost none, and that kind of sucks. And looking in the mirror and seeing how flat-chested I am is kind of a little bit demoralizing. So yeah, I've been considering, especially now that I've gotten a boost in my scholarship money, I might be able to afford this. So I've been looking into the options, doing a bit of research. The unfortunate thing is that traditional implants, saline implants, which are basically bags filled with salt water, have this problem that they easily can leak. Basically, there's a pretty high chance, that your implants will not last 10 years. They will leak at some point. And that means basically that your breasts, or one of your breasts, is going to randomly deflate after, 3 or 4 years. And then you need to get new ones. They can also wrinkle, and the wrinkles in the implant can be visible in the breast. There's also silicone implants, but then those are also dangerous because the silicone can leak out. They also recommend replacing them, every 10 years. Which means basically that if you're getting a boob job with those implants, you are signing yourself up for having several more boob jobs during the rest of your life. And, that's not fun. I did my FFS, and basically, I would like to think that I won't have to do it again, And the same thing goes for my breast. I'd like to think that if I get a breast augmentation, I won't have to do it again. I won't have to worry about leaks. I won't have to worry about toxic silicone and all that. And there's also another problem, is that those implants, especially silicone, I guess, the bigger they are, the more fake they look. The less breast tissue you have to begin with, the more fake they look. I'm sure you've seen porn stars and models on TV and actresses that have implants that are, it just looks like they have water balloons under their skin. You can totally see the shape of the bag. You can see like the breast tissue like folding under the implant sometimes, which is like, oof, really unattractive. And my girlfriend, has told me, she really hated if I had breasts that look very fake, that look like they are obviously breast implants. It matters to her, and it matters to me too. So I've been looking at other possibilities. And I was happy to find out that there are newer implants nowadays called cohesive gel implants, also known as gummy bear implants or 5th generation silicone implants, which are basically, instead of a pocket filled with liquid silicone, what you have is like a solid piece of silicone. Well, not solid, but it's got a more uniform texture. What that means is that even if you pierce a hole in it, the silicone won't come out. Even if you cut a big dent in it, the silicone won't come out. are said, you know, that they're very new, but people are saying, you know, that they will probably last much longer than older implants. They will probably be way more durable. And these implants also come in what's called anatomical shape. So instead of being, you know, rounded implants, they have more of a teardrop shape, which means that when you put them under the skin, they will look more natural. And Erinn and I have looked at the before and after pictures. From what we've seen, it's very true. You know, there are women who have even less breast development than me who use these implants, and they can get like A or, well, B cups, even maybe even C cups, and it seems to look pretty natural. You know, it seems to work pretty well. And great news too is that these implants are available in Canada. So I would only have to go to like Ontario to be able to get them. And I have a friend who lives there who said that, you know, she might be able to offer me a ride all the way there, and that there's a local clinic there that's very renowned that does this. So that would be something that I could potentially do in a few months only, you know, maybe even by the end of the summer, I don't know. You know, but I'm looking into that. I think it would make me more passable. I would feel more feminine. It would be great to be able to show some cleavage, you know, to not have to really worry about what kind of tops will show cleavage and which ones won't. You know, and I also think that, you know, it's the ultimate in passability having breasts, you know, besides FFS, you know. If you have cleavage, you know, people will definitely think you're female. Although, you know, I don't really have to worry about passing anymore these days. Yeah, that's the thing too, like nobody has used male pronouns to refer to me, except people who knew me from like before transition who still don't get it, basically. You know, I don't meet strangers in the street and not pass. I seem to pass all the time. And yeah, it's funny because people on YouTube, you know, very often make comments, you know, oh, you'll never pass unless you fix your voice, you know, you sound so masculine and you need to fix your voice and blah blah blah. There was even someone who told me that I should take the example from gay men. You know, gay men have such feminine voices, you know, you should imitate them. And I was like, what? But anyways, my voice does not seem to be a problem in practice. And yeah, in the realm of body modifications and implants and all that, I've also been thinking maybe about getting a belly button piercing, and also about maybe getting a tattoo. I was thinking of get a lower back tattoo of a phoenix bird, you know, symbolizing rebirth, and maybe have it done in like red and black with like spread wings. You know, so it would be kind of a wide tattoo. So yeah, that's something I've been thinking of doing. But again, you know, I got my FFS surgery with Dr. Zagowski, which I think is right now one of the best in the world for facial feminization, because, you know, it's something that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. You know, I didn't want to do it on the cheap or do it with someone who wasn't the best. If I got a tattoo, it would be the same for me. You know, I would want to find a tattoo artist that is very, very, very skilled, not some random tattoo shop, you know, that I can't really be sure what the outcome's going to be. So I would have to research that. You know, the same thing goes for breast implants. Once again, as you can see, I'm researching it and I want to get the best I can. Because I would like for the breast implants, you know, if they could last 40 years, that would be great. Of course, I don't know if that's realistic, but already if they could last 20 years instead of 10, that would already be much, much better. So yeah, that's what's happening in my life these days. I will try to make video blogs more often. Now I seem to be a little bit less busy because I'm basically done with my very very stressful exam, and I'm done with the conference, and I'm also pretty much done with my course project that was taking a lot of my time. So yeah, feel free to post comments and make video responses and contact me if you have any comments or questions. And I will try to make some video blogs soon, possibly about, you know, new makeup tricks that I've developed, or about I'd like to maybe make one about depression, you know, because I think that's something that a lot of trans people have to cope with. And there are ways to cope with it. Okay, so that's it for today, people. Bye bye.